We got a video by ProSalk, and apparently the way we consume anime is changing.
On your feet, Dad.
Remember the first feeling
Bro, Aaron was cold as hell.
you had when you discovered this medium?
You see, Aaron actually felt like the main character in Season 4. Season 3, Season 2, Season 1, he did not feel like the main character. That low-key went to Levi, or Mikasa.
Medium of entertainment. It was an entirely new world that you had never experienced in your life. It stimulated your mind to new heights of fantasy you'd never even think of. It made you feel a part of a world that you knew you would never be a part of. But for that brief moment of you watching that 20-minute episode, you could escape reality, at least briefly. It's been a long time.
Oh, I feel like I know what he might be delving into. I feel like, so with him just saying you could escape reality briefly, I think he's going to contrast older shonen to like newer shonen like Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, Hell's Paradise, the Dark Trio, right? And I think he might make this argument of how anime isn't escapism anymore, because Jujutsu Kaisen, the reason people love Chainsaw Man and, you know, just Denji and Itadori Yuji's main characters is because of how quote unquote relatable they are. You know, like Gen Z as a whole is like this crazy generation that's suffering with everything, and, you know, society's apparently getting worse. So like, I think he's basically just going to make the argument that modern anime isn't escapism anymore, because modern anime is more relatable and actually represents reality even more, especially if you look at Higuruma's backstory from Jujutsu Kaisen, you know, getting corrupted by the world, essentially. And I think he's going to make the argument that older shonen like One Punch Man, Dragon Ball Z, are like less relatable or something like that.
Because most of us have watched our first ever anime.
And that, you know, animes like One Punch Man and you know, Dragon Ball Z are more like hope core type of anime, right? It gives you a lot more hope, and maybe it's less realistic due to how much hope it gives you, but it's more positive ultimately.
And things have changed. We no longer give shows a chance. We are less forgiving and less likely to connect with stories as a whole. The way we are consuming anime has changed, and it's for the worse. The thing that inspired me to make this video was a result of how football fans have changed the way they support teams.
What?
And I mean this football. For my American audience, basically, football fans no longer support teams, they support players. Where the player goes, the fans move with him. And you might be asking me right now, what the hell does any of this have to do with how we consume anime? Well, it's actually pretty straightforward. We have stopped becoming fans of anime shows as a whole, and have solely become fans of certain characters within a show. Well, you may ask again, what is so bad about that?
I don't know if that's necessarily true. Maybe it kind of is. Becoming fans of not an anime but of specific characters. I mean, I guess we kind of see that with like, especially with JJK, like there's Gojo, Toji, and Yuji and Sukuna. A lot of people glaze those for. With Chainsaw Man, I guess it's really just Denji. Okay, I could maybe see it.
It makes us disconnected from the general story. We begin to lose the ability to contextualize events within a story. Context becomes completely forgotten. The same way a football fan does not care over the performance of a club as long as their star man is stat farming, is the same way anime fans...
Oh, okay. Yeah, using solo leveling is a... Bro, using Sung Jinwoo was a great example for your point. Yup, nobody... I don't even know anybody else's name in the entire solo leveling series outside of Sung Jinwoo. I think I only remember the blonde-haired love interest or whatever, Sun Cha-en or something. The blonde S-rank hunter woman. I don't even remember Jinwoo's sister's name, bro. Literally perfect example, perfect comparison. Yeah. Because, I mean, the only reason people watch solo leveling is Sung Jinwoo, because the side cast sucks.
Do not care about the broader story and plot as long as their star character is aura farming. A good example of this is the debate between Eren Yeager and Lelouch V. Britannia.
Ooh, we're getting back into this debate. I thought he was gonna say Eren Yeager and Light Yagami for a second, but sure, Eren and Lelouch is fine. What's the debate about? Ultimately, Lelouch was the better. I'm gonna say Eren was better written, probably overall. Like extreme diff as a character, Eren is better written than Lelouch. But in terms of their plan and the ultimate outcome of their plans, Lelouch like low diffs Eren. Eren had to literally commit mass, you know what? He killed over 80% of humanity, and he still didn't even really accomplish much. Lelouch had to sacrifice his own life, but it was for a greater cause. Like literally, Lelouch accomplished what he set out to do, even if he had to sacrifice his life. And Lelouch had a good plan. Lelouch low diffs Eren in terms of just overall intelligence, bro.
Both of these characters share enough similarities.
Ultimately, Eren's the better written character. Lelouch is smarter. And even though Eren's the better written character, it's very close. It's very close.
To constantly be compared to one another, but they are different enough to be distinct. Lelouch fans argue that Eren is a failure.
Did I just see Light Yagami down there?
But they are different enough to be distinct.
Hold on, is that Light Yagami over there?
Lelouch fans argue that Eren is a failure of a character because his actions still lead to the bombing of Paradis way into the future. The Lelouch fans discredit the entire context of the Attack on Titan story based solely because on how Lelouch was able to have, let's say, a happier ending for his people than Eren did for the people of Eldia. People place the entire idea and block of a story solely based on one character. While it's true, in certain shows, one character can generally carry almost half or the entire show.
I mean, overall, still, Attack on Titan just is the better anime compared to Code Geass. Like, if we're talking about as a series, yeah, Attack on Titan is massively more popular than Code Geass, I'm pretty sure. I believe it also has a slightly higher rating on like my anime list or something, but yeah, I know Code Geass fans are gonna get mad, but in terms of just being a series, Attack on Titan low key like either mid or high diffs Code Geass. I'm just gonna be honest, like Code Geass, it's not popular to the extent that Attack on Titan was. I'll be generous and I'll say Attack on Titan high diffs Code Geass and overall writing and just as a overall series.
It's not a proper way of looking into these stories. No disrespect to Lelouch fans, don't worry. I'm a big fan of Code Geass too, but statements like these make stories feel like binary numbers. Basically, they are judged on a true and false metric. The context is ripped out based on the performance of the main character or their favorite character.
Yep, you gotta keep in mind the context for sure. Ultimately, the order goes: Lelouch did it best, Light Yagami did it second best. Because y'all remember, Light Yagami reduced crimes by 70% worldwide. Worldwide, not just in Japan. He reduced crimes by 70% across the entire world. And then Eren did it the worst because he killed 80% of humanity. Pretty self-explanatory, right?
And sometimes people just love to rage bait, so you kind of have to be cautious of that. And this is a problem. Sometimes, though, I do understand disregarding the story in situations like Seven Deadly Sins, where the plot becomes so dumb you just have to root for Escanor as the last savior.
Yeah, I won't lie. Yeah, it does look weird. I don't know why they made her character design so small. Yeah, and then yeah, Seven Deadly Sins is kind of cooked. Bond's kind of cooked, and Meliodas too. Man.
To show my respect to you for getting serious and not holding back, I will do you the courtesy.
Yeah, Escanor has mad aura, bro. This dude low-key kind of carried the show, bro. Escanor is so cool.
Of the sea.
Escanor basically like mid-diffed Estarossa, and even Meliodas' brother had to come in and try and help Estarossa. And then even earlier, Escanor low-diffed Galand, the commandment of truth guy or whatever. And he ended up turning into stone because he had to run away. And then Escanor also low-diffed frickin' Melascula the purple hair girl or whatever. And yeah, it was just Escanor is overpowered.
The issue with the way anime is consumed today
Melascula literally tried to devour Escanor's soul just to get burned from the inside. That's so cold.
is it turns us into machines.
Clankers.
We process the stories of these characters in a way that does not consider the circumstances of the entire story or message behind it. That can also be attributed to stories these days being seen as preachy, when the message is very much forced.
Honestly, though, even with Aaron's, I get Aaron had to go through like just a very difficult decisions. But even with the context that Aaron has, like 80% of humanity is insane.
Fully shoehorned in, and it feels like the author's trying to prove themselves right. So people they don't want to take the BS of the entire story and just root for their favorite characters. But it makes us less appreciative of the story. Take Jujutsu Kaisen, for example. Its biggest strength is the systematic world building with rules that tie directly to the plot of the story.
Yeah.
Cursed energy leaking from humans creating a world of horror, but guess what? Because of Team Sukuna, Team Gojo's, Team Yuji's, the focus isn't on how impressive the structure of the world is, but how cool their favorite character can shine in said stories.
Bro, the JJK agenda is insane, man. Some people literally said that Jogo was waiting for in Shibuya. Some people said that Jogo was waiting around the corner for Toji to leave and push Megumi out of the building. People were making it like Jogo would be scared to fight Toji in Shibuya. And it's like, I do think Toji would probably win against Jogo Extreme Diff if they were to fight in Shibuya. But like, Jogo is not scared. He literally fought Gojo and he fought Sukuna. And, Jogo overall is just kind of a unit. And overall, Jogo has some pretty fast speed feats. Now, he doesn't have much durability. So Toji really might be able to kill Jogo for sure. But ultimately, Toji isn't going to speed blitz Jogo. Like, that's just not going to happen. It's not going to be like how Toji versus Dagon was. Jogo is a lot more experienced and he's faster. He's faster than Dagon. I do think Toji's probably a bit faster than Jogo, but not to the extent where he's gonna like speed blitz or perception blitz Jogo.
It's kind of sad, really. It's really sad. And being a fan of a character isn't bad. I myself have favorite characters in every anime I've watched. But when the character blurs the entire story for you to the point you disregard everything else, it becomes such a waste.
I mean, the issue is I didn't know Solo Leveling was gonna have such a bad story. Like, Solo Leveling's main focus is literally just Jinwoo, and that's quite literally it. Like, I feel like a lot of people got into Solo Leveling expecting it to just be better than it actually was, and I probably made this mistake too. Like, Solo Leveling's still good at the end of the day, but I did expect like a better story, a better side cast, a better overall plot. I didn't know it was literally just like a Jinwoo ore farming simulator.
But there's another reason why this is the case. Attachment is scary.
Keep your hands off my woman, off my woman, off my woman.
Yeah, bro, this scene got memed into perfection. Yeah, Meliodas is
But
cooked.
if attachment is scary, isn't it worse to be attached to one character rather than the entire show? Well, take this as an example. If a football player flopped hard, it would come off as embarrassing.
Embarrassing!
But if a team was going through a downfall, it just hurts. When you place all your marbles in one character, the focus isn't on their journey, but rather is if they're better than everyone else. Because the thing is, it's easier to change your allegiance.
Honestly, you know what? I kind of agree on that, because literally when Sung Jinwoo was crying after he saved his mom in the hospital, people were saying that the man lost aura. So it just goes to show people don't even want Sung Jinwoo to express his emotions. They just want him to be an aura farming guy, a cool guy. Like, literally, the dude saves his mom and he cries up, and then he gets roasted on Twitter and stuff, and people are like, oh, Sung Jinwoo is a fraud, he's a bum, bro. Holy aura loss, how you gonna cry like that?
Is from one character to another. When a show is disappointing, when a show hurts, or when a show does decisions that really affect you as a person, sometimes we're people don't like.
I'm sorry, I gotta go back. This is crazy foreshadowing for Ken Kaneki. Bro, go and speak to her. She won't eat you. Oh, that's actually, bro, peak foreshadowing right there, bro. I feel so bad for Kaneki, man. I don't know why Rize had to do him like that, man. Like, honestly, you would think maybe Rize would spare him, since, you know, Kaneki was kind of simping for her. Kaneki technically complimented her beauty, thought she was pretty. Like, even if she's a ghoul, maybe she could have just given him a pass, just due to the fact that, you know, he finds you so attractive, or he kind of glazes you. But nope, still cooked. Yeah.
Decisions that really affect you as a person. Sometimes people don't like uncomfortable things in anime, you know? We don't like experiencing those really uncomfortable topics in anime. So instead of thinking about the concept,
I think there's a balance to uncomfortable things in anime, right? For me, at least. I don't like the extremes, like, you know, like Monster with Johann Liebert and all that crazy stuff. Made in Abyss. I heard that Bondrewd is like a psychopath to an extreme degree. It depends on how far you go. Even Berserk is a little bit kind of crazy. It really depends on how far the anime or the manga goes. I think Attack on Titan balances it out decently well. Vinland Saga can actually be very extreme at times, especially with the Vikings and the selling and pillaging and, you know, taking women and all that. But honestly, Attack on Titan, it's a little bit extreme, but Attack on Titan kind of fits that perfect balance. Like, it shows off some elements of the real world without being too grotesque, too gross, I guess. I think Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man also do it really well. They're dark stories, but they're not like extremely absurdly dark, like Berserk with you know, Femto or Griffith technically assaulting Casca in front of Guts. Like, it's not to that level. So yeah, I think it's about balance. I think Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Chainsaw Man are pretty good at balancing. I also think even Oda, with One Piece's Egghead arc, getting into, like, you know, getting into political stuff, right? One Piece has probably always been kind of political, but like the Egghead arc specifically got like extremely political with the Celestial Dragons and Kuma's backstory. But I still think that was balanced decently. Like, it's not super dark.
Consequences that Thorfinn goes through as a result of his violence and his revenge arc, you desensitize yourself from what the broader picture of Vinland.
I actually think Naruto does it kind of perfectly, because when I think about like Obito Uchiha, him getting mad over Rin's death, when I think about Madara, you know, just wanting to create the infinite Tsukuyomi and create a perfect world, like, the Naruto Shippuden feels like very realistic, and the villains feel real too. Even Nagato or Pain, you know, Nagato was speaking about how, oh, the Hidden Leaf Village attacked me first, so we both just have different versions of justice. You and me are the same, Naruto. You're protecting the Hidden Leaf Village, and you're trying to, you know, get revenge by killing me, but that's the same thing that I'm doing. I want to kill you, Naruto, so I can get revenge for my village that was destroyed by the Hidden Leaf. Like, Naruto has perfect villains, bro.
Saga is, and instead root for Thorfinn as an action hero. You see how cool he is. You see how he's able to take people down. You see, Thorfinn lost a lot of fans between season 1 and season 2 because he changed as a person. And people failed to appreciate that because there were...
That's called character development, but yeah, some people just wanted Thorfinn to be this aura farmer and to defeat Askeladd. I still watch Vinland Saga season 2. It was pretty entertaining. And honestly, Vinland Saga is just a really good series. Now, I have to admit, Vinland Saga Season 2 did get more boring because Askeladd died at the end of Season 1. Askeladd was a 10 out of 10 villain, and Askeladd low-key carried Vinland Saga for quite a bit. So now that he's dead and, you know, he defeated the king, it's like, the show got a little bit more boring. Now, again, I still watch Season 2, but I gotta admit, it's just not as entertaining as Season 1 since Askeladd's gone. Imagine Bleach without Aizen. Imagine watching Bleach without Aizen as the antagonist. It would be just a bit more boring, you know?
Fan of him as a spectacle, and they were not a fan of the show and what it represents. However, it is still possible to have one favorite character and be a fan of the show.
Bro, when are they going to make a season 3 of Vinland Saga, bro? I've heard fans complaining about that. Like, it's been a while. Where is season 3, bro? Honestly.
The difference is that you will have a broader appreciation for the character you support. So when they end up dead, you won't go around throwing
This killed me, bro. This killed me. When I saw this as a spoiler, this killed my soul. This killed my soul, bro. I didn't even want to believe it was real when I first saw it, man. Gojo versus Sukuna is the best fight in modern shonen.
fraud allegations. You will appreciate the life that your
Heck, even better than spoiler alert for Hunter x Hunter, even better than Chrollo versus Hisoka, man.
favorite character had lived. Stories are meant to make us reflect. Yes, it should be fun too, but numbing yourself with excitement 24/7 without time to reflect would make the feeling of excitement become less meaningful. The reason happiness is special in the first place is because horrible emotions exist that make you feel like shit. The reason wholesome moments in Berserk are so special is because everything else is so bleak.
Yup, the literal entire world of Berserk is it's chaos. Berserk is the worst anime world you could choose to live in, bro. You literally have monsters that raid villages. I forget the guy's name. It's some like... It's been a while since I've read Berserk. I forget the guy's name, but there was like this guy who would raid villages and just do horrible stuff. There's also just like... There's the Minotaur evil guy. Like, Berserk is hell, bro. You're not even gonna survive for like 3 days in this world, man. I would rather live in Tokyo Ghoul than live in the world of Berserk, man. And that should tell you something. It's cooked. But yeah, because Berserk has so many chaotic moments, the calm feels very special and unique.
The less of something you have, the more special it is. And numbing yourself with happiness, excitement 24/7, and wishing for your character to always outshine everyone in the anime with little regard for the broader story just makes anime become...
Even Attack on Titan is a better world to live in than Berserk, because in Attack on Titan, all the Titans are going to do is eat you. If you run into something very heinous in the world of Berserk, you might get tortured, and they might not even just eat you at first. They might actually like cook you up and eat you. Like a Titan in Attack on Titan is literally just going to like digest you very quickly, but Berserk has like crazy people. Like, they might genuinely cook you and eat you. They might torture you. They might even take your innocence. Like, y'all don't understand Berserk monsters, bro.
Soulless, and it's where a majority of shows are heading. The biggest culprit here I can remember is the ending of My Hero Academia. It was very controversial. Why? Because Deku ended the story quirkless, powerless, and essentially almost unimportant. He ended up as a teacher.
Not quite my tempo.
For people whom are only fans of characters, it was a moment to flex
Wait, what?
on Deku fans. It makes them feel better that maybe their main characters had a quote-unquote better ending, you know? That Deku promised the viewers he'd be the #1 greatest hero ever, and in...
I don't think My Hero Academia's ending was that bad, and honestly, isn't it even better? I know Black Clover just ended, but isn't My Hero Academia's ending considered better than Black Clover's ending? Honestly. Now, Black Clover, obviously, we're just talking about the manga. The anime is not caught up, but from what I've seen so far, the My Hero Academia ending has just been considered better than even Black Clover's ending. So I really don't think My Hero Academia's ending is bad at all.
My opinion, he did become the #1 greatest hero. A lot of people felt betrayed. The anime...
Poor Stars and Stripes. This girl right here got the... All right, spoiler alert for Jujutsu Kaisen, but this woman right here, Stars and Stripes, she got the same treatment as Yuki Tsukumo got against that Yuki Tsukumo got in her fight against Kenjaku. It was just one and done. Stars and Stripes fought Shigaraki one time and then she died. Yuki Tsukumo fought Kenjaku one time and then she dies. It's just like, is it a curse for characters with blonde hair or something, or just like, what is it, man? Like, literally both of them died in their first fight. Honestly, it kind of ruins their characters. Like, Yuki should have honestly won against Kenjaku, or at least survived, man.
Run greatest hero. A lot of people felt betrayed. The anime taught about heroism doesn't have to be all spectacle. You know, you'd rather be a Moomin Rider than a flashy Bakugo, and people don't agree with that because
No, I wouldn't, because Moomin Rider gets beat up like every day, bro. Moomin Rider got beat up by Deep Sea King in episode 8, season 1 of One Punch Man. And even in season 2, episode 3, Garo literally took Moomin Rider's face and he just smashed it on the ground like 3 times. I was so disappointed in Garo for doing that. I get he's trying to be like a monster, but I thought he would at least have like some humanity or sympathy and he wouldn't like nearly kill Moomin Rider, bro. Yeah, and this was human Garo too. Yeah, mad disappointed in Garo for doing that, honestly. Moomin Rider isn't even really that big of a threat. You didn't need to do all that, man.
in the current world we're in, I understand why people don't agree with that. You know, corporations have failed us for a long time, so it's really hard to take the selfless route. I myself am not selfless.
Why do we need to give money to taxes and social security? That money needs to go to fun stuff, like chicken nuggies.
But it's nice to see it portrayed in stories every now and then. But I don't think the ending was ever bad. The story showed that being a hero isn't about the accolades and the prestige.
People just kept making memes about Deku working at McDonald's for some weird reason.
And yes, it was disappointing for us, the viewers, because we've been following Deku since episode 1, but there is still a counter argument. Anime is art, and entertainment is supposed to be an escape from reality. And yes, even in My Hero Academia, it does provide us with moments to escape reality through beautiful animation, high intense fights, and the over-the-top yelling, but the story needs to show you every once in a while that things can get ugly. But we don't really care about that anymore. What's your take though? Do you believe that anime fans should solely focus on specific characters as it's an easier form of escapism? Or does the entire story deserve a chance, even if it hurts like hell?
I mean, the latter, the entire story. Yo, this contrast is crazy. But the entire story obviously matters. End of the day, watch anime the way you want to watch it, but if you're ignoring the lessons and the themes in an anime like Attack on Titan, or you know, just any kind of anime, then you know, that's kind of weird. Like, take into account what the author's trying to have you learn. Personally though, overall, I don't think there's any specific issue with the way anime fans like watch anime nowadays. Anime is a constantly changing medium. We have Jujutsu Kaisen, we have a lot of memes, we have JoJo's Steel Ball Run. You know, like, anime is just always kind of going to change, and I think that's normal. But I do think we should probably focus more on like plot based animes like Attack on Titan to compared to like, you know, just something like Solo Leveling. I don't even dislike Solo Leveling. It's just Solo Leveling doesn't have a story from what I've seen. Maybe it'll get better in season 3 of the anime, but I mean, season 2, it just felt like the Ant King Beru. It felt like he was just a knockoff version of Meruem, bro. Like, he was just a way worse version than Meruem. We didn't get any time with Beru. With Meruem, we actually got time. He got development, etc. But yeah, I mean, overall, just watch anime the way you want to watch it. But anyways, back to this contrast, bro. You have no enemies, destroy your enemies. Honestly, for life, this is probably a better ideology, man. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, for the most part, most anime fans don't really have enemies. I'll just be for real.
Now, the thing is, I don't think anime itself will ever change. Anime has always been a medium of character-driven stories, so it's
I mean, character driven. I mean, some are more plot driven. I don't really like separating the character driven and plot driven thing because you kind of need both for a good anime. Attack on Titan is mostly plot driven, the overall story, but yeah, it's also character driven because of, Eren Yeager in his development in season 4. It's just like you can't really separate the two.
easier to root for characters than the entire story as a whole. But I feel like there's more positive ways we could be consuming this medium,
Because here's the thing, usually stories with a better plot also have better written characters. Think of the shows with the best written plots, right? Let's say Death Note, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Attack on Titan, Vinland Saga. Usually the characters are also very well written, right? Eren Yeager, Edward Elric, or whoever's the best written character in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Because again, I haven't really watched it like that. There's also who else? Light Yagami and L are very well written characters. Thorfinn, Askeladd, like if you can write a good plot, you can usually write a good character. Unless you're Solo Leveling's author. Honestly, Sung Jin Woo isn't even that well written either. He's just a cool ore farmer. But yeah, anime is just always gonna change.